Hello and a warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I'm your host Dalvinder Kaur from lovely Professional University. We are excited to have you with us and look forward to an engaging and insightful session. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's topic, that is role of AI in law. Before we proceed further, allow me to introduce the experts of the day, Mr. Sunil Kumar, Assistant Professor and HOD, School of Law, Lovely Professional University. He currently serves as Head of Law 2 Domain, a postgraduate in law from University of Delhi. He has been a panelist for the National Commission for Women and a resource person for RTI awareness programs, contributing significantly to legal education and research. So now I would like to introduce Advocate Puneet Bhasin also in this webinar. Welcome, Advocate Puneet Bhasin. She is an internationally recognized cyber law and data protection expert, renowned for her pioneering work in India's cyber law landscape. She has received 15 national awards, including Best Cyber Lawyer in India. With 400 plus global clients, she specializes in technology laws, AI, fintech, and blockchain regulations. So now I would like to introduce the admission nominee also in this webinar, Mr. Sukhvinder Singh, Senior Officer and Regional Head Admissions at Lovely Professional University. With over 13 years of experience in academia, administration, and admissions, currently pursuing a PhD. His core strengths include strategic planning, stakeholder engagement, and student outreach. Before we proceed further in today's session, I would like to request everyone for any questions you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and same will be addressed from my side in the end of this webinar. Now I'm going to hand over this session to our experts, Mr. Sunil Kumar and Advocate Puneet Bhasin. It would be an absolute delight to listen from them. Over to you both. Yes, can you please unmute yourself, Mr.
Yeah,
Sunil?
is it
Thank you
is
so
it
much.
okay now? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. You can
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you, Dalvinder ma'am. Thank you for introducing the theme to our learned audience and attendees. We welcome everyone whosoever is listening to this particular webinar session. Advocate Puneet Bhasin has also joined us very kindly. We welcome ma'am to this session. Uh, well, talking of AI and its applicability, its use, and its absorption in the legal sector. Uh, it is a much debated topic, no doubt. Every other day, we open the newspaper and there is some observation we find, usually being given by one of the tech wizard or corporate honcho tycoon. We usually observe coming from head of Google incorporated, or Elon Musk, or we see these global figures. So everyone is concerned about AI. And yesterday I came across this observation that uh, in the near future, be ready for 2 days work, because rest of the work will be taken over by other, shall be taken care of by chatbots or AI. So we are looking at a future where every profession and every sector, wherever there is human resource involved, is facing a dilemma. Number one, as to how we are going to embrace this particular new development, which is growing leaps and bounds with each passing day. So artificial intelligence, in plain terms, as Madam Hasin will be pointing it out to you in few moments from now, is something where we take the assistance of a particular algorithm which assists us in finding well crafted, pre-designed solutions to our queries, our concerns. It helps us, if we look at the legal sector, to great extent in crafting some documentations, providing preset answers to many of the general queries. And it caters to also to the need of laymen professionals alike. So it is a world which is evolving on a very daily basis. There is great dilemma as to how it is going to be absorbed in near future. But if we try to delve deep into the algorithm models, we realize that it is not so easy. It is not so easy in the first place, because you need, one would like to be trained into how you are going to give prompt to the AI tool or AI browser or AI technology, how it is going to help you. You you have to give a exact prompt so that it can help you in a much better way. Otherwise, we are going to get very plain results. So so you have new profiles emerging. If I talk about law sector, then look at the profile of legal prompt engineer. So we had someone from Price Waterhouse Cooper, based in London, over there. We had this gentleman, and he is working on the profile of legal prompt engineer. Now, one may wonder, any law student or any prospective person who wants to delve into the field of law, that how is this particular profile related to law, because you find the word engineer. Now, this person will not only be aware on the algorithm model, but he is basically expert in putting across that specific query so as to get the optimal result, like in return. So he is an expert on that, so as to give the deliverables to that particular law firm agency on time. This is one thing. Now there are traffic challan cases, there are pendency of cases. So we have already seen Indian judiciary experimenting with those aspects. That how whether now many of the challan cases, you have the AI technology being implemented, and because we know the routine, we know how it is going to impact, and it is going to help in the resolution of cases. So it is a world which has opened up before us. There are many ethical dilemmas before us, and institutions are struggling to keep pace with it. But nonetheless, it has been found to be very useful also, because in a very short span of time, it gives you results. Now, at the global level, there are many tools which have emerged. So I would request Madam Haseen if she can just introduce from her side her side, that how this particular data protection law and how this AI has really crept into our Indian legal system and judicial system, and how we are grappling with it. Because there are privacy concerns, there are ethical concerns, but nonetheless, it has been found to be very useful. So no one is denying it. So, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Sunil. And good afternoon to the entire audience. I think AI has become a very happening terminology today. I see that everywhere that any new startup, if it has the word AI associated with it, it's suddenly in demand. Every single individual seems to think AI is the way. As a matter of fact, I've seen a lot of juniors also, when we tell them to do research, they start using Chat GPT on everything. So the major challenge over here that comes up are the intellectual property rights issues, and apart from that, the many other major issues coming up over here, which is uh, the value of the data that is created. So just to give you, before we start with the entire presentation, let's move to the next slides. So I can give a basic backdrop to the students also then. On the next slide. The next slide. You can follow for more lectures on the Data Protection Act on my YouTube channel. Here we will just delve on the top. The next slide, please. Yes. So, with respect to AI and law, one of the most major issues that I really see is uh, the younger generations use losing the legal acumen. Now, as long as AI is just a tool to help you, it's all okay. But what I end up seeing a lot of the younger law students, law graduates doing is, trying to draft bail applications using that, trying to do a lot of other things which require skill. So if you do not have experience, what are the kind of arguments that you're going to present? I understand a lot of AI tools marketed that, you just put the case facts inside and we'll give you very good drafts. But please understand, those kind of drafts, whether or not they will fly in a court of law, whether or not they justify your client's case to the best ability, there are multiple challenges in that. And also, a simple example that would you be willing to be operated on a surgical table via AI? A simple question. Sunilji, would you be?
Definitely not. Definitely not, ma'am. I
You
mean,
would say,
how
I want
can
a
we?
doctor who has at least 15, 20 years of experience on the knife, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes. So what tends to happen is I do see AI making advent into corporate law. I see that happening in contractual, the routine things that companies have going on with respect to legal frameworks. But with respect to litigation, I feel the advent of AI is highly dangerous. If it is only for research, if it is only to support, it is all okay. But if it is out to replace litigants and what tends to happen if litigating lawyers start utilizing this, not developing their own litigation skills, then in that situation it is like वो जो बोलते हैं ना बंदर के हाथ में उस्तरा दे दिया. You're literally going to cut your clients through and make them bleed because of lack of legal skills that you have failed to develop. And at some point of time, it's a simple thing today. How many of us really know? I always give this example, directions very well. So around 20 years back, if you will see your parents, your grandparents, they knew the directions of where to go and how to go. They did not need a Google Maps. We knew mobile. When I was a kid, we knew mobile numbers and we knew उस समय landline numbers थे. We knew landline numbers by heart. Today I myself don't know numbers by heart. So the more we are getting dependent, our cognitive abilities are going. So at some point of time, basically what would end up happening is, if even litigation and a lot of other things start becoming dependent upon AI, you will have lawyers with no cognitive skills and no legal skills. So which is simply what I give the example, बंदर के हाथ में आपने उस्तरा दे दिया. So as a litigant, if I would be willing to be subjected, especially in criminal matters, if I would be, or civil matters involving immovable property worth crores of rupees, how many people would be willing to stake them? And many times what happens is poor litigants won't even know, are their lawyers genuinely skilled or just using AI? So those are the major, more than AI ethical concerns, I have legal ethical concerns that are there among young advocates, that don't touch matters if you don't have the skill for it. If you have the skill for those matters, then touch them. Don't just randomly use any AI tools to try generating drafts and arguments and present anything out of the moon. Develop the actual legal skills and then go ahead and appear in matters, especially because your client's money is at stake, their lives are at stake, their freedom is at stake. You're just like a surgeon on a surgical table. You cannot afford to make a mistake.
So, ma'am, basically, I think what we are proposing here is that originality is definitely the key in drafting, and that reasoned arguments make sense at the end of the day. So, we must
Yes.
stick to the same. And I think it is important, as you have rightly pointed out, that the young lawyers must understand that they cannot depend on the AI tool or technology
Hmm.
to really draft some serious arguments on
Yes.
which there is a it's a matter of life and death, or let's say consider bail matter, where a person has to be incarcerated or he has to be released. So it's a civil liberty question. So
Yes.
certainly I think we cannot depend on the intelligence of on artificial intelligence, which is yet to be tested in a very whole sense. So I think you have very rightly pointed out that dilemma part over there, and yes, we can see there is a lot of curiosity among youngsters. Even we have seen in law school sometimes students have this propensity to come up with assignments, and they use this chat GPT. But the moment it comes before us, I ask them a question: ये खुद लिखा है या chat GPT की help से लिया है? तो जिसने
Sunil, I'll give you a very interesting anecdote since you mentioned this. I was judging a competition of legal documents drafting, and in another university, this was one university, another university, it was a legal essay writing. And this is all in the last 6 months. Both competitions, we found 80% of them were all pulled out from ChatGPT and AI. So it was really hilarious. So the first thing, when we were judging these papers, I simply said, please run a check. Is this AI generated or genuine? So we should not even waste our time really looking into the papers. If it's just AI generated, you are any which case really, we're just going to make that noting and leave it aside. So 80% of the entries were like this.
So yes, that's really surprising. So I think that gives us a cue that the next time we organize an essay competition at the national level, then we'll put condition that please do not submit this or submit use
Yes,
AI
yes.
tools or uh, now I think they can definitely use. I think their use we cannot deny, but what has to come out still is their original work or reproduction, like in the sense of the
देवेंद्र मैम
craft.
मेरे को बताना इसमें शेयर करके सीधा
Right. So that part has to be very much original, and it must not be compromised. It must not be compromised.
Yes.
So I think that is something which we must insist upon. But again, ma'am, when I see there is a lot of curiosity, and if do you agree with this concept that we'll have to work 2 days a week or 3 days a week, and a lot of work is going to be taken away by AI? Is it really going to happen?
I'll tell you this years back, when technology was making entry into the judiciary and for advocates. So the whole concept, there used to be a concept of stenographer, dictation. I still use dictations. So the entire method was like, oh, they're going to take away so many jobs. This is, the whole thing is going to happen. And, believe me, work has, it's not that you end up working only 2 days. So despite so much of your work getting mechanized, with technical support, with technology support, despite that, it doesn't happen that you will not end up working. These things are only going to end up making you work more. I have noticed that. So it's not that your workload is at any point of time going to reduce. It has not
Definitely.
happened. So even with computers coming in, with introduction of digital evidence, everything that has occurred, so much of transition in the last
Yes,
10
yes. When
15 years.
computer came, everyone feared that it is taking away jobs. Yes, yes.
Yes, all of that was feared and nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Yes. So in a way, we needed actually people more who are more adept at computer. They can operate. We required
Yes.
computer operators. We required hardware expert. We required software expert. So I think there were still many positions which were coming up. Just the way perhaps we now require a prompt engineer or someone else. So
Yes, somebody
perhaps
who knows how to utilize AI
somebody
well,
who knows how to
ethically,
use it.
so that as an organization you don't end up in trouble with data which is infringed or something else where it may end up attracting more lawsuits. So you require very sensible professionals to handle AI in an ethical fashion for you.
Right, right. Now, since you are into the practice side, so I'm sure every day you are encountering many things, and specifically, if I what I have observed is that you are dealing very actively with criminal matters. So,
Mhm.
in the settling or in the in the cases which are being handled by the courts in our India, uh, how far they have absorbed it, or is there any blueprint for the Indian legal system which is there in the works? And what can we look forward to in terms of AI and its absorption in the legal, in the judicial, basically in the judgment delivery system?
See, I would still say that AI in the criminal justice system will be the last to percolate, because we have a basic principle on which the entire criminal justice system is based, that let 100 criminals go free, one innocent person should not be subject to wrongful arrest, wrongful detention, wrongfully charged or convicted of any crime. So when we are based on that basic principle, using of AI itself is reasonable doubt. So a person, even on a ground of a reasonable doubt is there, then he will not be convicted. So when our entire criminal justice system is based on this premise, logically, you yourself tell me, Sunil, what do you think? You think a criminal justice system will adopt AI that easily?
I do not think so. Reason being, ki we depend so much on forensic science as well. So I do
Yes.
not, and there you have fingerprint you need fingerprint experts, which is there. You need postmortem data, and there are so many other parameters which are
Yes.
included and which help the judge to finally decide. So yes, I think we cannot depend on the technology which is still growing, and the outcomes of and the results are not very clear. And as it is, I believe even in the scientific advancements, the if I correctly recall, it was Selvi versus State case which had upheld the use of lie detector tests and other such scientific tests, but that was only for investigation purpose, but not but otherwise had not upheld its validity to conclusively point out that someone or someone or the
Reasonable
other.
doubt. That angle of reasonable doubt is always going to be there.
Exactly, exactly. So I think in the legal fraternity, we know this benchmark, and we would like to share the same with the audience attending and with others who are maybe listening to this for the first time. This aspect, basically, in criminal law, friends, we have a benchmark that a guilt of an accused person has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt, so before he is punished or he is sentenced by the concerned judge. Now, this is a benchmark, and as ma'am has rightly pointed out, that it is in our adversarial form of system, justice delivery system. 1,000 persons may go scot free, but no, in one single innocent person should not be sent behind the bars. So that is the pivot around which our whole criminal justice system works, and it's an adversarial model. The person with the best evidence, whosoever presents, and obviously with the best of arguments, he or she wins the day. That is true. But again, the judge should be convinced that there is an unbreakable chain of circumstances in case of wherever circumstantial evidence is the question, or otherwise the line should be so clear that without an iota of doubt the judge can conclusively uh, you know determine and declare that see X person has committed this crime and he is held guilty, so hence therefore we proceed to award him punishment of such a such act of such and such category, maybe 2 years rigorous imprisonment, 3 years with fine, or maybe more. Depends whether he has committed theft, whether he has committed an assault. So it depends as per Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita now, which was previously Indian Penal Code. Now, this is the framework, friends. So where does AI fit in? So we are ruling it out in criminal law, but what about negotiation? What about mediation? I was, ma'am, came across an advertisement yesterday or a few days back, I think, and over there one person has been depicted, and he's negotiating with an auto rickshaw driver for paying his fare, like he
Hmm.
has like he has taken the services of the auto rickshaw driver, and he's saying that okay, please take 120 rupees, I'm a student. So auto rickshaw driver is demanding 200 rupees, so he requesting the AI tool and technology to tell the driver that see I'm a student, etc., in his language and otherwise. So language wise, he's the interpretation is there, the translation is being done through that tool, and not only that, the negotiation part is also being done like we humans do. So almost that same imitation is there. So maybe over there I could see that okay, the driver says okay, I'm convinced, fine, let it be 120 rupees only. So so that is one way, they are promoting it. So do you see that in other arenas like negotiation, mediation, this can still be rewarding?
See, I would say this would be in translation primarily. Not the negotiation, because again that requires a lot of skill of understanding the other person's body language. It requires skill of understanding the mindset, the body movements, eye movements. A good negotiator doesn't only focus on what he says, he focuses on everything in the plethora. So there I do not think the tool would be a negotiating tool, but yes, as a translation tool, AI would work even with respect to investigation, surveillance. I would say in investigation and surveillance also it will help. So in those kind of situations also, nowadays there are AI based cameras which are getting developed. So, utilizing them in surveillance where criminal elements can be easily identified, crimes can be thwarted. Many times a lot of evidence can be obtained. Like today, imagine an officer has to sift through thousands of videos just to locate, in a CCTV footage where the crime is committed. In AI based cameras, if the data is fed in that, okay, we are looking for a certain face image or something like that, then automatically the entire footages of that get sifted. So it saves a lot of man hours. So yes, the tool AI camera will not be able to interpret if the man has committed a crime, but it will at least be able to collate the data faster for an investigating officer in order to perform his duty faster. So in those ways, yes, I do see a lot of benefit that will be there. So the backlog of investigation of cases. So if we have AI, like let's say if we have AI tools to check the background precedents of criminals, tracking of their travel records, that will help expedite the criminal justice system. That ideally should be the way.
Yes, yes, I think that makes perfect sense. Believe that, like, we are in a different jurisdiction, and talking of India, like after every 100 kilometers, our culture is gets changed and transformed. So if we are moving from one place to another and we are coming across, then definitely AI tools and some other such technology can definitely help. But it can again, as what we see is that it cannot replace that true negotiate the skills of a true negotiation and how it goes live, because that element is very much personal or impersonal depending on the scenario. That is very personal or impersonal. It depends on the scenario how the negotiation moves forward, because we have
Hmm.
seen for the police also there are many negotiation scenarios. For example, someone is keeping a hostage in some people in a mall, and there is police outside, and they have to negotiate with those people who are the hostage takers, those people who are there. So now definitely how AI can help. So as a police officer, if I'm asking the tool that, okay, tell me the strategies. So maybe based on aggregated, accumulated knowledge, which has happened in the world thus far, it can give me two, three ideas. But still, I have to take a call. It's like the same
AI,
thing. Like I'm
AI can help over there also in that situation if it can give you an accurate profiling of the criminal. Now that
yes,
again, that level of profiling, if AI is going to enter into, it will also have a lot of ethical concerns of privacy. So if it's going to allow such high level, so person before committing a crime, if you have so much profiling of him, and if such data is available to a negotiator, my first question would be, how is it even possible? So that means that form of profiling has occurred, which is a breach of the individual's privacy. Criminal he is today, profiling has happened 100 days prior. That means. So today that would mean you and me are being profiled, every single individual is being profiled for whatever situation it may be used. It may be used for the good, it may be used for the bad. Unfortunately, most of this data is used for the bad. Over the dark web, it is sold for a lot of other situations where our profile data is used to target us only. So there are two parts to it. So if genuinely this level of profiling is occurring where it is enabling you to understand the mindset, the life experiences, and what ticks or does not tick the other individual, then I think that that is a major privacy concern in the first place. Let alone a question of what AI is doing then.
definitely. So I think that privacy concern definitely creeps in there, because even I mean, right to privacy is not denied even to a person who is accused of committing any crime at the end of the day, because some dignity and privacy is attached to him also.
Hmm.
And given the constitutional framework which we have, and everyone has a right to representation. So I think that it's a very fluid scenario, but I'm sure, like in a very tensed up situation where there are many lives at stake, uh, like some assistance and very credible reliance can be placed on at least looking at the criminal antecedents, whether X or Y person has previously been involved in any such kind of
That
robbery.
where it is public data. That would be where it is publicly available data. So
Yes.
then that's
So
not profiling data. So that's not going to help you negotiate, because profiling data would mean, for example, if you are Sunil, if I have to negotiate with you, if I have to successfully negotiate with you, I need to know everything about you. So a good negotiator will do a very good background check. He will have a fair idea before meeting you who you are, what you are, and a great extent to know, what is it that overwhelms you, what is it that makes you happy, what is it that will make you say yes, what is it that will make you say no. And if so much of knowledge a law enforcement individual has prior with respect to a criminal, then that is major alarm bells.
definitely, definitely. I think this kind of, but if it, right, as Ma'am has said, that whether it is should be made available in public domain or not, that is something which is very much questionable. And obviously, even when the police records, police maintain its own records, it's not public. And the way they maintain it, the police records, it is only
Yes.
on a particular demand as per the requirement, and without a court order, that's not even repres presented in a particular trial. So there
Yes.
are a lot of procedural requirements are there, definitely. But in a live situation, police will definitely make use of it. But we have to be, we have to be now. If my memory goes back to Taj Hotel attack, now that was one of the first incidents where you had this whole attack being televised, if I
Mhm.
correctly recall, where you had the continuously being televised. And obviously police, not only I could recall media agencies, they were trying to trace the profile and antecedents of many of the attackers. Now again that became very questionable because there was a lot of information which was being projected without authenticated, vetted, validated before a large audience, even
Hmm.
about those attackers. Even little
Hmm.
bit was known about them. Lot more was being said, but it was very risky to also tell many things to the public because the way it was being done later on, it was criticized that you are actually giving them solutions right through the media. So they could also be watching the television or something through that. So we have to be very much careful. I think police authorities, police agencies also will have to be very careful on the AI part, that how they really want to adopt it and implement it, because it's a very risky affair at the end of the day. And which information has to be withheld, which one has to go in public domain, that call must remain with the executive, taking into account the law and order situation. Except in
Hmm.
situations where, of course, someone is knocking on the doors of the court for violation of a civil liberty, then you have to factor in that in what way his or her privacy was breached. So certain relief can be sought, but otherwise, executive must take the call very carefully. So AI is very promising, very attractive. It helps us in predictive analysis. It gives us some possible solutions, but we must not rely on it in a with any degree of finality. And specifically in the sector of law, we must always be on guard. We must not throw our well-tested principles and doctrines out of the window, because
Hmm.
those doctrines and principles have stood the test of time. So I think there are many more slides. If ma'am would like to go through those slides and show us
No, no, we
something
can
more,
have it in a discussion format itself,
I, I
Sunil.
think I think this is
Little
going
more
great.
accurate.
This is going
Yes.
great. I think this is working fine, because I've seen the slides. Ma'am has mentioned law geeks and many other chat box kind of technology she has
Hmm.
mentioned. She has also talked about the GDPR convention and the European framework which is there on the adoption of technology. And I think interested researchers and audience members can certainly explore on that count. There are many protocols which have come up in the past. In 2021, one media guidelines were brought up, and those guidelines are applicable to the corporate bodies as well. So, in case there is something objectionable, something which is infringing on the privacy of any individual or entity, that material, or it is defamatory, such content can be taken down also within 48 hours. I think there is a time which is also provided there. There's a time frame which is given. All these developments are taking in extension of the IT Act, basically Information Technology Act of 2000, where further rules have come up, media guidelines have come up. Now, data protection bill has also been come up, and we know the Puttaswamy judgment. Law students are well aware of the same, and I'm sure other law enthusiasts are also aware of the same. Puttaswamy judgment basically underlined the very reality that privacy is also very much an integral part of Article 21, which is right to life and liberty, and it comes within your whole enjoyment. And I was reading the news. I have not read the details. I think the Apex Court has now also declared that the digital access is also a fundamental right. So it has elevated the same to the category of fundamental right category. I think I read this morning. I'm yet to go into the details, but anyhow, digital access is definitely something which is very much desirable, and we are growing leaps and bounds. The next era is certainly going to be very immersive. The technology is going to be very nimble as time passes by. So I think it is an alarm bell is definitely ringing for all law enforcement agencies and legal personnel, lawyers, advocates, educationists, that they must be on guard that what is it that they are telling the people, telling the students, that how this particular technology has to be adopted. In IP law, copyright infringement can be detected using AI, patent research and filing. For research work, it is very helpful. I think it can be very helpful, but we must not hand over the taking of crucial decisions. Like ma'ams gave a very, very good example in the very beginning, that if someone is they're on an operation table, and obviously the surgeon would not like to take directions from AI. Rather, we would like to go with the knowledge, acumen, expertise, and also the gut instinct of that particular searcher. So, which may there have been many successful surgeries of many kind we have seen all over the world. So, I think that that should be the way forward. And with that, I would request Dalvinder ma'am that there are any queries on board. Then I think ma'am is open to take the queries also, and we are here. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunil Kumar and Advocate Puneet Bhasin. So it was wonderful watching you talking on the role of AI in law. And now I would request to admission nominee Mr. Pankaj Vij to be on the screen. Over to you, Mr. Pankaj Vij.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
I hope my screen is also visible now.
Yes, screen is visible. You can
Okay,
continue, Mr. Pankaj Vij.
great. So that was a very intense discussion, and I would like to take this discussion forward. And I would like to, for the benefit of the students, I'd like to tell the students, whosoever is watching this particular broadcast, as to what exactly you can expect when you come to the university, to the lovely professional university. What are the things that you can expect from our side? Lovely Professional University. A few highlights and a few glimpses. It's one of the largest universities in India. It's a 600-acre campus that we have got, offering more than 200 programs, and across 40 disciplines. We have got more than 30,000 students studying over here. So it's a multicultural place that you will come to, and we have got representations from more than 50 countries across the world. So it's a world in itself. It's a city by itself, and you'll get a great exposure when you come to this particular place. Talking about accreditations and approvals, for any university to have the accreditations and approvals is a must, and this is the kind of accreditations and approvals that LPU has got. We are a NAC A++ university with a score of 3.68 on a scale of 4. And in the first cycle of our application, we got the NAC A++ ranking. Talking about other accreditations and approvals, we've got accreditations and approvals from probably every council that exists in India. Something like ICAR, which happens to be the Accreditation Council for Agriculture Programs. Then we have got NBA accreditation, which is a very prized accreditation. Then we have got approvals from the Bar Council of India, the Council of Architecture for architecture programs. We've got NCTE, which is National Council for Teacher Education, PCI, Pharmacy Council of India, which is for pharmacy programs, and so on and so forth. So on your screen, you see the various councils from which we have got approvals from. As far as rankings are concerned, I'm very proud to announce that NIRF, which is the Ministry of Education, Government of India, has ranked us 27th best university in India. So we have been ranked 27th best university in India. We have been ranked quite high. Quite a few NITs and some other institutes are below us as far as rankings are concerned. So this is the kind of ranking that we have achieved over the years. On the bottom of the screen, you see the rankings for various programs for various disciplines that we have got. Like we have 16th, we are ranked 16 in India in pharmacy, 19th in law, and so on and so forth. Talking about other rankings, these are some of the international rankings that we have got from Times Higher Education ranking, which is one of the prestigious rankings when it comes to world university rankings. Memberships, we are the membership of, we have got memberships from various organizations, various councils, various uh, associations as such. For example, we are a part of the Association of the Indian Universities. Association of Indian Universities is a very prized association. Any university which is a part of AIU ought to be a part of AIU, and we are a part of AIU and some other councils that you see on your screen. Facilities, one of the best facilities or some of the best facilities are being provided to the students. Academics is important, but then campus facilities like infrastructure and everything is one of the most important things. It's an integral part of academics, I must say. So We have got a 600-acre campus, and it's got a well-built infrastructure that we have got, and we are located on National Highway number 44. We have some of the best infrastructures, not only as far as laboratories or libraries or things like that, but we have got some of the best sporting facilities that we provide to our students. These are some of the glimpses of our indoor sports complex. You name a court, you get it. We have got a swimming pool. We have got all-weather swimming pool, which is an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We got shooting ranges. We even have a squash court. So you name a game, and we have got infrastructure for that. Residential facilities, we got students who are representing all parts of India. We got students from all 28 states of India, which means every state is represented in India. So people coming from far and wide places, even foreign countries, as I told initially in my presentation. So these people stay in the university campus at the residential facility, and we are very proud that at one point of time we can house as many as 25,000 students and faculty members put together. These many people can put up in the campus at one point of time. So we have got a mammoth residential facility, very well aided by a very good mess facility, and the meals facility is also available in